Hi, my name is Rihanna Barrow, and today I'll be talking about the ethical considerations of artificial intelligence, also known as AI, in mental health counseling. Before I begin, I wanted to address why I picked this topic. Over the course of last summer, I completed an internship, and the organization that I worked with had just began to implement the use of a new AI called Bell's AI into our care for clients. The goal of this AI was to help improve clinical notes for insurance purposes. Now, there were many mixed reviews on this AI. However, one aspect that I did not hear considered was the ethics behind it. I wasn't hearing questions such as how does this kind of technology affect client therapist relationships? Is it safe, and are we protecting clients' rights? So I went into research more on what the concerns of using AI in mental health counseling in regards to ethics may be. So first, let's start with how AI is currently being used in mental health counseling. It is being used in these four primary ways. However, there are multiple other applications of AI. The first way is AI based tools. These are systems that analyze things such as speech, text, facial expressions, and behavioral patterns to detect potential mental health conditions. It is important to acknowledge although this is not used for diagnostic purposes, it can be used to support diagnoses and also to monitor client progress over time, which I'll get into a little bit more later. Second, we have virtual therapists. Programs such as Woebot, which is FDA approved, and WISA are being used to either add or supplement therapeutic relationships between a human therapist and a client. Third is for monitoring and prediction. Some AI systems track client behavior through social media and other mood based tracking apps. They use this data to predict changes in mental health. This can be used in an early intervention way to detect signs of mental health conditions such as depression or anxiety, but it can also be used throughout treatment to gauge how well treatment is working for a client. The final use that I wanted to talk about is personalized treatment. This is where therapists use AI to design treatment plans that are individualized to each client. So let's talk about our ethical guidelines as counselors. There are several ethical guidelines that we have to consider. However, most fall into one of three categories: privacy, autonomy, and safety. Privacy protects clients' rights to their personal data and to not have it shared without their consent. Autonomy protects clients' rights to make their own decisions about their health care, life, and body. Safety protects clients from harm both physically and psychologically. Now we're moving on to privacy concerns. At its core, privacy is about a person's right to control their own personal information, what's collected, how it's stored, who can access it, and how it is being used in the therapeutic process. This is very important. Clients are sharing deeply sensitive information and deserve to know exactly what is happening with it. But with AI, privacy can become a much more complicated situation. A lot of these systems collect data from sources such as social media or behavioral tracking apps, which is an unfair expectation to expect clients to give informed consent by using social media. Even when the data is anonymous, there is still a chance of it being re identified by one of two ways. Either psychological data is not unique enough to not have it traced back to an individual, or semi public or public information is stored, such as usernames and location data, even when clients' names, addresses, or date of births are not being recorded. Another issue is data security. Not all AI systems are built with strong protections in place. If the data gets leaked or stolen, this could lead to devastating consequences. It's not just about losing mental health data, there is other data that is included that can have devastating consequences if put in the wrong hands. This includes health data and records and other personal records that can lead to a client being either discriminated against or face identity theft, depending on who has access to this data. It's about violating a client's sense of safety and trust. The final problem is transparency. Many AI systems use what we call black boxes. Even the people who build these AIs don't exactly know how they are making decisions. This lack of clarity can make it hard for clients and therapists to trust the system, especially if they don't know how it's influencing care behind the scenes. In addition to this, it is important that potentially law enforcement may get access to this data, and with a black box model, it is unfair and can lead to dangerous situations where a client could be showing signs of anger or aggression or other related conditions and be unfairly investigated by law enforcement. Now we are moving on to autonomy. Autonomy means giving clients the ability to make their own informed choices about their care. In therapy, this is fundamental. However, AI can put autonomy at risk in a few ways. The first way is informed consent, which is a core tenet of mental health counseling. If clients don't fully understand how their data is being collected or used, they cannot give true full consent. And this was addressed in the privacy section with both black box AI systems and also receiving data from things such as social media when a client may not truly give informed consent to that. This really affects vulnerable populations such as people in crisis, people with low digital literacy such as the elderly, the young, and people with cognitive conditions that make it very difficult to feel empowered to ask questions about how technology is being used. In addition, both AIs and their corporations can be very persuasive. AI systems are designed to be persuasive, which can start to influence client decisions in a manipulative way. The same thing happens with corporations applying either financial, social, or general pressure, such as Google forcing AI generated results with every search inquiry. And the final autonomy concern that I wanted to talk about was anthropomorphization. Essentially, this is when people start treating AI like a real person. It is important to note that this is an autonomy concern because clients may have the belief that they are speaking to real therapists, and unfortunately they won't be speaking to a real licensed therapist. This can be achieved by chatbots having names, personalities, or friendly tones, and this is very misleading and emotionally confusing, especially if the client is of a vulnerable population. Finally, we're moving on to safety concerns. Safety in this context refers to making sure clients are not harmed emotionally, psychologically, or physically by the tools that we use. The main issue is that AI is not good with empathy. Studies have shown that AI can have as little as 5% empathy that a human therapist would offer. This is an important thing to note because it causes AI to respond without empathy to clients and also to miss crisis signs. AIs can provide risky, harmful, or invalidating responses, which is common with people with suicide, rape victims, or other clients who are particularly vulnerable. AI also fails to offer referrals or connect users to crisis resources when they clearly need them. This is an expectation of human therapists that the AI therapists do not also have. So, on top of missing crisis signs, even sometimes when they do acknowledge these crisis signs, they are not adequately referring out. Another issue is that human therapists have the ethical principle of do no harm, which is probably the highest ethical principle that we have. We can invade a client's sense of privacy or autonomy if it will cause physical or emotional harm. AI therapists do not have the same sense of accountability or duty of care as human therapists do. Unlike licensed therapists, there is no professional responsibility, no one to report to, and no clear path for clients to seek help if they are hurt by an AI tool. In conclusion, the ethical concerns around AI and mental health counseling are real and important to consider. Privacy, autonomy, and safety are essential principles that protect clients and guide ethical care. As of right now, a lot of AI systems fall short in these areas. They aren't always transparent, they don't always get proper consent, and they don't always keep clients safe. If we are going to use AI in mental health care, we need strong ethical oversight and regulations. And more than anything, we need to make sure that these tools support human rights and not undermine them. Thank you.